So today in this video, we're going to go through a very simple but effective system that will automatically pull the latest news or articles from any online source of your choice, and then we'll repurpose these into your very own LinkedIn posts that will include images as well as links. This is great for people like me that don't have much time to spend creating content on other social media platforms and also want to stay on top of the latest news, especially in tech and AI, where everything is moving so quick. Implementing a system like this would mean that you will have, in essence, your very own curated set of news and articles that you would consume yourself anyways, as well as being able to share this with your LinkedIn network, which will cost to grow it, right? So 2 birds in 1 shot. In this case, we will be using a very powerful tool called RSS, which is what allows us to get the latest news and articles from any online source. Of course, I am mentioning LinkedIn in this example, but you can essentially plug this into any other social media platform of your choice. All right, enough said. Let me show you how this works. So one of the purposes I built this automation was to connect it to my own business LinkedIn profile. And this is great because now I have a place that I can go to every morning and read any relevant news that are of interest to me, right? This avoids me to have to go to the main feed and get bombarded with 50,000 different posts from different industries and then probably end up in some random rabbit hole and waste a lot of time. So this is great. And you can see as well, the size of the post is concise, right? And to the point. I made it so that it only includes the relevant content in the article, because some articles can just be a lot of waffle. So it just gets the summary of that and then it puts it in a bite-sized chunk that you can read in a minute or two and then keep going with your day, right? So it's great for me. I just want to read 1 or 2 minutes of this, see what's going on around, and then leave and get on with work, right? So regarding the structure of the post, you can see that it starts with a hook, then this is the content, and then we have a CTA. If people are interested on staying updated with these sorts of news, then they can go ahead and follow my account. And this is great for organic growth because I'm actually putting stuff that's useful, right? It's news that people are interested in. I mean, if I find it interesting, a lot of people will probably find it interesting and interact with it. And regarding organic growth, this is why I have also these hashtags here, and then a link to the full article, which makes the post even more helpful because now people would know where the link to the original article is, right? I just left it here. If you keep going below, this is another post I made yesterday, right? I made it so that it's gonna post every day at 9 a.m. So it's similar structure. This is the link to the article, and then you can have further read if you want, right? That's great. So you have a link, hashtags, and you also even have images, right? That are pulled from that original article. So for me, this is perfect. And there's definitely many ways in which you can write your posts for LinkedIn. The post that you've seen before is more informative, which is what I want. But if it's for a personal account, you can always add some very interesting hooks. So let me zoom in here. Would you believe us if we said AI skepticism is the new literally insult, right? So there's a wide range of hooks that you can use to get some type of audience, right? And it really depends on your account, on your type of business, the nature of your business, and so on and so on. So yeah, as I said, it can be business, it can be an individual that you're doing this for, or you can do it for yourself, for your own personal account. You can customize this to however you want, right? It's all in the prompts that you give to the language model. So let's go have a look at that. All right, so this is the entire automation. I wanted to switch things up in this video since I'm used to building larger complex automations, and I wanted to keep things simple in this video so that you're able to build systems like these within minutes instead of hours, right? So let's go ahead and have a look at the first module right here. Well, what is RSS? Well, RSS stands for really simple syndication, and it's a tool that helps you keep up with updates from your favorite websites without having to visit each one individually, right? And then you have an RSS feed, which is a list of the latest updates from a website. So when you subscribe to an RSS feed, you get new articles or posts or any updates from that website delivered to you automatically. So it's kind of getting the latest news delivered to your inbox. And this way you can easily see what's new on the sites you follow, all in one single place. And in order to get these RSS feeds and actually read them and repurpose them like we're doing here, you need to do that through an RSS reader, okay? And these readers come in the form of applications or software, okay? That allows us to actually get the HTML, extract it, and repurpose it. So one of these softwares is called RSS app, okay? So you can sign in, make an account, and you get a 7-day free trial. And over here, you can see the different feeds that I have, okay? So these feeds are connected to several articles of interest. So I have Forbes, which is a general page for AI. I have more of a technical blog, LangChain blogs for developers and so on. I also have the OpenAI news, which is very helpful, and all that. So you can create feeds. You can go ahead here, add feed, or here on the square on the top right. So I'm going to do that. As you can see here, you can generate a feed from so many different sites, so many different ones, and it keeps going. So I can load more and more. So you have Instagram, you can get posts from Instagram, you can get posts from TikTok, posts from LinkedIn, Reddit posts, threads, even from YouTube as well, right? It's endless, essentially. You can get Yahoo, Medium, Xbox, I guess. I don't know what's there on Xbox, but you can get that as well. So several different things, right? So here you can select a specific site. And if you don't want to do that, you can also go on to topics. So you can collect information or latest updates given a topic. So if we go down here and we find artificial intelligence, for example, we're going to be getting the latest updates regarding AI. So every time a website makes an update or a blog post or similar with the topic of AI, we'll be getting it here straight away. So the first website that posts something about AI in a given range of time will appear here, okay? So you're gonna see here that the updates are very frequent. Every 19 minutes, 34 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, because it's looking at all of the websites online that are RSS enabled, okay? Because we're getting everything regarding a topic, not from a specific site, okay? So this is a high volume game right here, right? You can get much more posts and very recently as well. So it depends on what strategy you have for repurposing content. So this is for quantity, but obviously it's not very specific to a use case, let's say, compared to if you were to get feeds from a specific website, for example, OpenAI, right? It's going to be a bit more specific to OpenAI's news. So it really depends what you want to do. But yeah, you got the option of websites, topics, and you can go one step further and go to newsletters. And this is probably going to be very curated, but when you create a feed, you're going to have to pay for it because it's a paid newsletter. But to be honest, I've tried doing it with websites. For my purpose, I want more control in the content that I pull out. And for me, websites have been the best. But yeah, those are feeds. You can also even build your own RSS feed if you want. So if you see that there, you place in a URL, for example, in this RSS generator, and you see that it does not support RSS, then you can create your own feed here, okay? You can enter the web page URL, and then you can select the actual HTML item that will be updating with posts, right? You can do this manually. But yeah, this area should be just fine. So you can do that, but with feeds, what you can also do is collect all these feeds, right? Very specific feeds from individual websites and put them into things called bundles. So for example, here, I have two feeds. I have, I think, the one from Forbes and another one from LangChain, I think, or the OpenAI blog. So I have two individual feeds and I put them both into a bundle. So now I'm going to get the latest news every time either the OpenAI site or the Forbes site upload content. I'm going to be getting it on the bundle, right? And this is great. So how do we connect this to the automation? Very simple. So you're gonna get these retrieve RSS feed items, which you can go ahead, type in RSS, and then you're gonna get the retrieve RSS feed items, okay? Why are we doing this? Because we will be running this daily anyways at 9, so we don't need any asset module. Asset modules are ones that are sensitive to changes. Okay, we got asset and instant. Instant is actually a bit better. Asset has some delay, but we can pick this one because we will be triggering this anyways daily or on a schedule. So once you set that up, all you have to do is just pick the URL from the RSS app, right? So if you go to whatever feed, bundle or collection, go click on it, and then you can just copy that on XML. Okay, I had some problems with the JSON and CSV. XML seems to be the format for repurposing on Make. So you're gonna go ahead, copy that, and then paste it in here. And that's pretty much it. I'm limiting it to one return item because I'm not storing it anywhere, right? What you could do is implement a system here that gets multiple items, stores them into some sort of database such as Google Sheets. And then from that Google Sheets, implement some function that retrieves them one by one on a specific date, right? You can schedule them like that. But I want to keep things simple, and you can just run it daily and select one item to return, all right? But instead of picking a feed, what I've done is get a bundle, all right? So I encourage you to create multiple feeds and then put those feeds in a bundle. You can go ahead, click the bundle, hit copy, then come back here and paste it over there, all right? You can leave this blank. Great. And now what we're doing is on the second module, we are downloading that RSS feed as a file. So we are just selecting the URL of the feed coming from that bundle. So that's what we're doing. We need to download it as a file because now we want to do some manipulation to it. So that's why we're putting the text parser here. So once we download this file, I'm going to run this, okay? So let's run that. And what you're going to see is that the output of this comes out to be HTML, right? But we don't want HTML here. HTML is a bit useless for us because we want to turn this as a LinkedIn post. So what we want to do is connect it to a text parser, and this is going to convert the HTML into text so that then we can pass it on to the ChatGPT modules to do the transformation into a LinkedIn post a bit more effectively. Right, so let's unlink that and let's run that again. And let's have a look at the output. It's a bit better, right? We got rid of all the long HTML strings, and now we have something a bit more manageable. Great. Now we can go ahead and connect that. And let's have a look at these three modules right here. All right, so here I have three completion modules. This one will be responsible for getting that parse text from the article or blog and then making a summary out of it. Then I'm also generating some hooks, and then I'm getting the summary and the hook to generate the actual post for LinkedIn, right? So that's what's going on. And I think it's important that you understand also the difference between using a completion module and a call and assistant module, okay? Both of these can be used to generate an output using OpenAI. What's the difference? Well, for this scenario where we want an input generation and an output flow, then this completion module is perfect. I'm doing it in a very simple use case. I'm passing information through these OpenAI modules. I want them to generate something for me. I give it a few examples, nothing crazy going on, and then I give it an output. You would want to use an assistant module if you want to upload, for example, a file filled with many different examples on your tone of voice, okay? When you want to make more sophisticated systems. But to be fair, for most systems that you're going to build or make, the completion module is going to be the way to go, okay? Assistant modules are specifically designed for interaction with a person, right? To chatting back and forth with it. But completion modules are made for giving it some input and then generating an output. Hope that was clear. And now we're going to go through the first module, okay? So I'm going to show you how this works. By the way, I will leave this template for free in the description so you can download it. So yeah, don't worry if you miss anything. So we're using for all system, and this is a system prompt, right? So right here, what you do is you give it a summary of what your company does and who it is, right? So you're an expert content summarizer and social media manager with 20 years of experience. Give it its objective. Maybe you don't need to put the objective here since I'm mentioning it below. So this is something that I will change. But the main point is that you're giving it a context of who it is, right? Putting it in a role and giving it an understanding of who is it working for. Maybe here I should actually develop the prompt a bit more so that it knows that it's working for FG Labs and so on, at what our vision is and whatever and so on. You know, you can get very descriptive with this, but the purpose of this was just to make a very simple, dumbed down automation for you to build on, okay? But anyways, that's the system prompt. Then you have the user prompt, which is the actual instructions that you're giving it. You see here that I am putting stuff in objects, right? I find that ChatGPT actually finds this very helpful. So what you do is, for example, in this case, I'm saying, well, you'll be given raw text content, should be the T, right there, from a website containing a blog. And then I'm telling it that all that is going to be contained within the raw text object. So now it knows what to summarize exactly, right? Because if you go over here, I'm making another message, another prompt, and I'm giving it right here. It's really good at summarizing stuff like that, as is, But in case you wanted to summarize it in a specific way, what you can do is add an assistant prompt, okay, and give it an example of how you would like the GPT module to generate the summary, all right? So you can do that, but for my use case, this is perfect. Then set that to 0, set the max tokens to 0. All right, that's the first module. And for the second module, this is a hook creator. I put that name there. And for the model, you can actually use the GPT-4o mini since it's just creating hooks, right? It's not creating a long text that needs a lot of intelligence to make. So you can go ahead and switch it to the mini to save on tokens. But essentially, we're giving it a system prompt, same thing. We're giving it a user prompt, right? The instructions. And then as you see here, since I found that it needed a bit more tweaking, I gave it examples. So I tell it the context of what the summary will look like, right? So let's say you're given a text on OpenAI announcing GPT-5, and then these are some example hooks that you could give back to me, right? And then I get the actual article content, right? So if you see this doesn't work for some reason, then you can do the same object-driven method that I put here. So you can wrap this around some sort of brackets, right? And then you can go ahead and place brackets here as well, article, right? There you go, okay? So that's that, and that's it. And then you can place the max tokens to 0. Great. So every time you make modules, don't forget to hit save, okay? Because if for some reason your computer crashes or you lose connection or something, you might lose the progress, okay? And now what we do in this final module is to create me a post, okay? Well, first of all, we're gonna go through the system prompt. We're gonna use 4o on this one because we're making a bit of a larger one, a bit of a larger output. It's not just a few phrases like we did on the hook creator and the content extractor. So I'm giving it a bit of a better system prompt, right? You're part of FG Labs, an AI automation agency, and you're an expert marketer. So you see here, I'm abiding by this object-based method, right? The object-based way of instructing the language model. So you see here that I'm mentioning a lot of objects. So creating an engaging LinkedIn post using the following structure, post structure, integrating the best one of the 3 given hooks and article content, right? Write the post in third person because I'm doing it for a company, obviously, and so on and so on, right? Add relevant hashtags at the end and include the article URL wherever applicable, and include a call to action, right? I'm telling it to add our website, and depending on the context of the article, either put in the website link or tell them to follow our LinkedIn page, right? And then I give it some final considerations. But the thing you have to focus on here is how I give it a very exact structure to follow when it creates the LinkedIn post, right? So I'm telling it to first create a hook, content, and then CTA. Well, we only have one hook, but what you could do here is do hook 1, content 1, and then put a second hook, and then a second piece of content, obviously relating to the same thing, and then a CTA. And if you actually try this out, you're gonna see that it follows this post structure, right? But you can surely see the value of giving it a structure already so that it has a better idea on how to make the LinkedIn post. And this is also a way to make the next LinkedIn post consistent, right? So that it doesn't just add hooks everywhere and it just makes everything messy. And you see over here, I add a system prompt and I give it a few examples, right? Not only one, because since this is gonna be a longer output compared to the other ones and a bit more important as well, because I'm gonna post it on LinkedIn and many other people are gonna see what I post, then I want it to be very exact. As I said, you can do this with an assistant, but generally an assistant is used for other stuff, for more of a conversational type interaction. So as long as you put these as an assistant role and then add in object-based methods, at least in my case it works. If you add it like this, right? Example 1, example 2, just to keep it consistent with the other stuff that I added on the prompt, then it should be pretty good. It should output stuff really nicely. And obviously the more examples you give it, the better. But try not to overwhelm it either. I just added 4 examples. Don't go and do 10 examples because then you'll run the issue on token costs. And that's pretty much it. Set the max tokens to 0, or if you have some tokens in mind, go ahead and add them. I think it's easier if you test it a couple times if you want to add some max token limits, but I usually just leave it like that, since I know that this is going to return me a small summary anyways, right? But yeah, so there you go. Those are the 3 GPT modules. All right, so let's give this a run until this point, okay? And let's see what we get. All right. As you see, it's pretty quick as well. So let's check the block content extractor. So let's go on result, and there you go. So Waymo's partnering, this and that. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But that's just a summary. So now from that summary, if you see here, we're getting that summary and we are making hooks out of that. So let's see what hooks it does. As Waymo gears up for massive action, what secrets are hidden behind whatever? For Alphabet, how will this investment reshape the future? Right? So this is made so that viewers engage a bit more, just giving them a little bit of mystery of what's coming on the post. And then we're getting that summary and that hook, and we put it in the structure that I mentioned before, right? So if you come up here, you're gonna see, well, here's the hook, here's the content, and then here is the CTA, right? As I exactly put. And then you have the hashtags, and I left the link. Really important, right? So if you want to read more, go ahead to the original link. Great. So now we can go ahead and connect that, and I'm going to explain you this part. So essentially what we're doing here is no different to what we did at the start, right? So it's a HTTP module, the same module, but instead of getting the URL and downloading it to get the HTML of the blog or the article, we are getting the URL of the image, right? So if you remember on the RSS feeds, there's image associated with these, right? So we can actually get these as well. And that's how I have the images on my LinkedIn post. That's how I do it. So I download this URL, right? I get that data from the URL, download it on Make, and then I re-upload it on LinkedIn, okay? So go ahead and connect to your organization, right? So what I'm doing here is creating an organization image post, but you can also, I believe, get a personal image post as well. There's many different options. So you can create a user text post, image post, video post as well, right? You can add a video if you want, which is completely possible using an automation, right? I'm pretty sure you can repurpose videos using RSS feeds as well. I do think it's possible, but you can do that as a user, but I'm doing it as part of an organization. So I have a business account, so that's why I'm using this, but generally it doesn't matter. Obviously, the prompts that I made here are in third person and are made for businesses, but the only thing that you would have to do here is just to change the prompts to make it in first person, right? And give it examples in first person as well. And that's all you have to do. So what I recommend you instead is to go on your LinkedIn if you want specific examples and go to people that you like. So there's this guy called Ruben Hassid. Shout out to Ruben. He posts stuff about AI, and the thing is that he's a really good marketer. So you could copy this and then come back here and add it as examples. But yeah, anyways, coming back to this. So what you do is you choose the right module, okay, which is this one. And yeah, you can add the title right there. Well, it adds it automatically if you choose the file, and you can add some alt text. So this is going to make images more accessible, and it surely would help with SEO. So in most cases, you don't really need to add anything here, but I'm just telling you in the case that you want to go the next step, right? But yeah, I'm just pasting the result from this module here, and that's pretty much it. I want to add it on my main feed and make it public. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So there you go. That's the end of the automation. And we're going to go ahead and run this. So it's going to do its thing, go into text parser, doing the blog, the hook, and the blog post, getting that file from the RSS feed URL, posting that with the image as well as the actual content from the GPT module, and then we should be able to see this right here. So let's have a look. Well, obviously it's the same post as the one before because I didn't wait a day and I only have 2 feeds on my bundle. If I were to add more feeds in my bundle, so over here, you see I have a bundle and you see I have only 2 feeds. If I were to add 6 feeds, 7 feeds, 8 feeds, then I will be able to pull more different content because I just have more than 2 sources that will be constantly updating content on the bundle, okay? So that's what it is, and you can see here the post. So it creates the post, it creates the CTA, and so on, read more, right? And it has the image, which is very important. And that's pretty much it. So as I told you, it was a simple automation that you can implement by yourself. And obviously if you download the template in the description, you should be able to set this up in a few minutes. And it should be working, and you can run this daily at 9, at any time of the day that you want. And if you want that to run daily, then obviously don't forget to set the scheduling to on. And that's pretty much it. Don't forget to save, and that's it. Happy automating. All right, so that was my attempt at giving you a very simple and effective automation that you can use on your LinkedIn accounts and implement within minutes so that you can first stay updated with the latest news of your interest, and second, use that as well to engage with your audience on LinkedIn and therefore grow organically, quicker and seamlessly. So if you like that video, please give me a thumbs up and follow if you want to see more videos like these. If you didn't like the video for some reason, please let me know why in the comments below. Any feedback is good feedback. And yeah, any other things also let me know in the comments. And yeah, I hope you have a great day and see you in a bit.